You're watching ESPN's Bracket Builder Week.
All-American candidate Kelly Olynyk and his Gonzaga Bulldogs have climbed to #2 in the country, but Gonzaga challenged tonight on the road against Tyler Haws and his BYU Cougars. It'll be rocking here in Provo. Big game in college hoops, and we've got it for you next. Man, are they ready for this game in Provo? A lot of excitement here. It's Thursday Night Showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, a part of Bracket Builder Week. The #2 Gonzaga Bulldogs on the road to take on the BYU Cougars. It has been another topsy-turvy week in college hoops. Indiana has lost. Michigan has lost. Now tonight, Duke loses. There are the Zags sitting at #2 in the country. And welcome inside the Marriott Center. Dave Fleming alongside Mark Adams. So, Mark, the losses continue for the teams at the top of the polls. And the question, I think, is here, we're getting ready to watch the Zags. Are we watching the top-ranked team of the country?
The answer is yes, but it comes under the heading of be careful what you wish for. It seems that every time a top-5 team gets within sniffing distance of #1, a 2- or 3-game losing streak is sure to follow. Yeah, they're #1, but you know what? There's about 22,000 people here who have a different idea.
Yeah, first things first, they got to win this game, and this will not be easy. Sellout crowd, senior night for a bunch of the Cougars. A couple of great players involved in this game, Mark, but part of our one-on-one, Olynyk and Haws. The performances in the first meeting between these two were very, very different.
Look at Kelly Olynyk's numbers. He was Bill Walton-like, as he was perfect from the floor and the free throw line. And look at Tyler Haws, averages 20 points per game, but against Gonzaga, 1 point. That stat line for those two players has to flip for BYU to have a chance tonight to knock off, dare I say, the #1 team in the country?
You can say it right now, still #2, but look at the record, 27-2. They've won 10 in a row, an impressive 14-0 in WCC play. It's Pangos, Bell, Hart, Harris, and Olynyk, the starting 5 for the Zags. On senior night for BYU, 3 seniors in the starting lineup for the 20-9 Cougars: Cusick, Zylstra, and Davies, along with Tyler Haws and Matt Carlino. The head coach of the BYU Cougars is 8th year here in Provo, and he has done a heck of a job with this program. Dave Rose, this year, though, 6 consecutive NCAA tournament berths. That streak is on the line. BYU has had a little more of an up-and-down year. 8-time WCC Coach of the Year, Mark Few, maybe his best team ever at Gonzaga, as he's had some really good ones. The Zags, #2 ranked in the country under Coach Few. So here we go, Kelly Olynyk, who, as Mark just told you, destroyed the Cougars in the first meeting between these two in Spokane about a month ago. Olynyk has continued to play at a high level. He'll jump center with Davies, and it's BYU controlling the first possession of this game. So Cougars ball in front of the sellout crowd on senior night. Matt Carlino pulls up for a jumper and misses the first shot of the game. Zags, just like BYU, they will push the ball in transition. Olynyk, a little shot fake, draws some contact, scores with the foul.
The patience of Kelly Olynyk. Watching fake and then draws contact. A lot of big guys would get greedy and score right now. Instead, ball fake, draws contact.
Savvy play for the All-American candidate. Good free throw shooter, but he misses the chance for the three-point play. Well, that's the first shot he's missed against BYU from the field, from the free throw line against the Cougars all year. He was perfect in the first matchup. Tyler Haws misses the shot.
Kelly Olynyk just outruns everybody down the floor.
Well, that was a good example of it there. He got great position, just couldn't score. Here's Carlino Haws, who had a nightmare game in Spokane, rejected by Olynyk, who's also playing defense at a very high level. And Bell, on the move in transition, got cut off by the Cougars D.
He might be the fastest guy on the floor.
A whistle and a foul. Olenek is all over the place early in this game.
7 foot, 238, closes the gap from the backside. He's just so mobile in his half-court sets with lateral motion, and he's so fast up and down the floor.
That whistle was for a kick ball, so no foul against BYU. Possession for Gonzaga. And Mike Hart, sort of the ultimate glue guy for this Bulldogs team. Not much of a scorer. Does about everything else. Harris has been a big scorer. Misses that shot from the baseline.
Brigham Young successful in their zone defense on their first zone possession of the game.
And we will see a lot of that from the Cougars tonight. They played more zone this year than in any other season under Dave Rose. Carlino picked up his dribble and bounced it to nobody. That's a turnover.
One of the underrated aspects of the Gonzaga team is that defensively they're very stingy. They can afford to make some mistakes. You got shot blocker Olenek, you got Harris who's athletic, and then you got quickness on the perimeter. It's a good combination.
Zags defense, particularly lately during this win streak, has been suffocating. Barry Bell Jr. also starting to play better and better. Shot clock down to 10 now. Kevin Pangos has the ball. Pangos goes to the basket with the left hand, scores.
I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of man-to-man out of BYU tonight. I think they almost have to go zone.
And that is the ultimate example why they just have a hard time guarding perimeter players penetrating the basket from their man-to-man.
And then you have the inside play as well. It's a double whammy for Gonzaga.
Davies got a pretty good look there, missed the shot. Davies diving for the ball, gets called for a foul. And that's going to be his second early in this game. That is a big whistle and not a real smart play, I don't think, from Brandon Davies.
You love the hustle, but you don't like the decision-making right there. But senior night, you kind of get juiced up, Dave, and a lot of times you make some decisions that normally you wouldn't. A long way from the opposing basket, reaches first and then dives second, and that's a foul.
Well, that's a good point. You don't know how kids are going to react with all the emotion of senior night. And for Brandon Davies, 2 early fouls. He's still in the game at the moment, though. We'll see if the Zags attack him. Olenek in the lane. Tried to find Harris, threw it away. That's a turnover, Gonzaga. Now Davies will come out of the game. Bronson Kafusi, a freshman who also plays defensive line on the BYU football team. So he's got some size and strength down low. Comes in for BYU.
His dad, Steve, is one of the assistant coaches on the BYU football team.
Whistle.
Load.
Foul against Gonzaga, away from the ball. That one's going to go against Mike Hart. Gonzaga wearing those uniforms, no names on the back, just the Bulldogs. Sort of the alternate jerseys these days for Gonzaga. Carlino, the inbounder. Here's Cusick, the runner in the lane, short. Rebound, Kafusi, scores.
You love a guy that brings energy off the bench, and Kafusi, one of those guys, physical.
First basket for BYU.
Good ball movement.
Olenek lays it in, and another chance for a three-point play. Those big guys for BYU, for Gonzaga rather, work so well together.
So unselfish. This team is famous for making the extra pass and then the extra pass beyond that.
Foul was against Kafusi, so Davies out with early foul trouble. His replacement immediately picks up a personal foul. And there is the senior Brandon Davies. Olenek, 80% free throw shooter. And this time he converts.
Full court pressure from Gonzaga.
Carlino beats the pressure with the pass.
Now without Brandon Davies, this really becomes a donut offense for BYU.
Carlino, tough contested shot, no good. Harris defensive board. Pangos and the Zags want to run. Here's Bell, wide open three. Too strong. Rebound Hawes. Zylstra runner. No good, and Olynyk tipped it to Pangos.
But everything is contested by the black jerseys. They're just getting up in BYU's face on every single shot.
Pangos has been so efficient from way outside. Didn't go, and the ball gets tipped to Hawes. On the break, Hawes, layup good.
He already has doubled his point total from the game in Spokane.
Now, this is a guy who averages 20 plus a game. He scored one in the first meeting between these two teams. Olynyk, and that's too easy.
Kelly Olynyk in the soft spot of that zone. He can pass it and also has that soft touch from 12 feet. That's a zone buster.
Yeah, he is looking like he's ready for another huge game. Carlino off the dribble. Almost got that one to go. BYU crashing the offensive boards. It's Kaufusi. He gets it off to Hawes. Fans here wanted a whistle and a foul.
Well, number 3 in white, Tyler Hawes, he's got to be the guy that generates offense for this basketball team right now.
Kaufusi down low against Harris. Makes his move. Foul. So that'll send us to a timeout here in Provo. Emotions are running high, but so far, second-ranked team in the country, Gonzaga playing well. Kevin Pangos having a great year attacking the basket. But Tyler Hawes, he needs to come alive for BYU. Cougars trail by 5.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And in part by Lexus and the RXF Sport. It's What's Next from Lexus.
It's a beautiful, chilly night here in Utah. We're in Provo. BYU hosting the second-ranked team of the country. Gonzaga with the early 9-4 lead. Here are the West Coast Conference standings. Gonzaga, this game and one more left in the regular season. They've already clinched a share of the conference title. One more win of the Zags clinch it outright. BYU, meanwhile, expected to be a real contender in this league. 9-5. St. Mary's and Gonzaga have been clearly the top two teams in this league this season.
St. Mary's also had an excellent win against Creighton during Bracket Busters weekend. That helped their cause.
Another great year for Mark Few and his Gonzaga Bulldogs. Last year, the first time in a decade plus that the Zags didn't at least share the WCC title. They have changed that this year. Kaufusi at the free throw line. Ragged free throw shooter misses the first one.
You know, Dave, it's interesting that Mark Few certainly has had opportunities to leave Gonzaga, but he learned from the best. His father was a Presbyterian minister for